Uh, all right, first and foremost, we want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh. We do so by Hashem Yahawashi, that's naming His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. For we God's chosen people, we back again, right, to do another live, right, from House of Bread, come to edify, wake up God's chosen people, right, bring back to the status of what they supposed to be on this earth, right. So what we going into today, because we got Passover coming around the corner, right? And we know a lot of times people they you know and I speak from experience myself though, to be honest. I mean, a lot of times, like me and bro, we talked about a lot of times we do videos, do sit downs. Sometimes we try to rebuke a spirit that had been on us, or or so forth like that, or something that we may have encountered, right? Or sometimes from passing by people at work or whatever the case may be. But talking about Passover, we know that Passover coming up, right? And Israelites got a habit of, you know, cashing out, right? Just cashing out in general, but especially with Passover though, right? They cash out, they gotta deck the garment out, they gotta do this, they gotta look fly, right? And this is what is mainly about, like not necessarily Passover. It's just about, you know, we don't always need the what you would consider the best of the best, right? Like for instance, like I talked about, I had a a, a couple pair of name brand glasses or whatnot like that. And again, none of this stuff is wrong. It's not unlawful in the Bible to have uh, you know so-called name brand stuff. So like a lot of this is Edomites names on it. So we perceive that it's top of the line. So you know I mean, but now I got like 4 or 5 glasses, and I mean they look nice, and they were probably the price of one of the glasses that I previously had, that I lost, by the way, right? So I mean, this is just what we going into. We want to go into, that you don't always need the best of the best, right? And a lot of times, again, it comes from, coveting other people things, right? Just being honest, looking at people in the world, and even people, that being the truth. We see sometimes you can see somebody having something, you like, dang, I want to get that too. But you can look at your bank statement and see, like, dang, I don't know, I don't know if I can grab that. At least not right now. But you still would try to push the issue, and still would make it happen, right? But then, a week later, a couple of days later, you be regretting it because in the state that you be, um, and financially, afterwards. And again, a lot of times it's based off of covenant, or not even so much covenant sometimes, because sometimes people covet and they don't even know that they covet. I mean, just being honest, because you could see somebody has something, you like, dang, I should have that too. I can have that too, right? So I mean, a lot of times that sentence starts within your mind first, right? And we know the Messiah already brought this up. So let's go into Luke, right? In the NLT 12, and yeah, chapter 12, verse 16.
God, this is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 16 in the NLT. Then he told them a story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, "What should I do? I don't have room for all my crops." Then he said, "I know. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and say to myself, 'My friend, you have stored enough away for years to come. Now take
Uh,
it easy.'"
oh, Salaki, bro, my fault. The point, matter of fact, started 15. That's the point. My
God,
fault.
verse 16. Then he said,
15.
verse 15. Then he said, "Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own."
Right, and that's what we saying. Like, It's not based on the drip that you have. It's not based on um you know I'm gonna be decked out. I know Passover coming up, so I'm gonna be decked out. I'm gonna cash out. 2 weeks later, you're gonna see uh, bills is due, and a lot of times we want to be, oh well, I'm in I got the plantation, they cutting hours, Esau on my back, right? Slavery, right, bro? We all know we're going through slavery. We all know we're going through hard times. That doesn't give you, right, necessary the reason to just crash out, you know, with all your money and put yourself in a bind, right? And to be quite honest, that's actually not responsible. Like just as an adult, like that's not responsible, right? And this is something that, again, like I said, this is something that, looking at myself and being in this walk for a dispensation of time, right? This is something I had to suffer with, right? I mean, I get to this bill here, right? I get to this there, right? And then sometimes, you put yourself in a bind, right? Because you think, hey man, I need this, man. This, and again, none of this stuff is not unlawful. We're not saying, oh, don't do this because you'll be committing sin. It's just not a wise move. Dang. Let me see. It's something that Proverbs talk about. Wisdom, real quick. 15.
Give me 1 second, bro.
Okay. Okay. So this we going to right here. Hold up. Right. So right. This is Proverbs, what, 15 and 27. He that is greedy of a gain trouble his own house, right? So a lot of times you trouble your own house, right? Through greed, right? Through wanting more, right? Than what you, like, seeing more and wanting more, right? And so this is just something that we see perpetually, though, right? We see it perpetually, and again, people in the world, right? When they in the world, we can understand of them living beyond their means, because again, they in the world. Like once you come into a better understanding of who you are, right, in this walk, come to a better understanding that, right, that God's chosen people, that the way the whole premise of the way this whole world is set up, that it's against you and against your people and how it's set up. You pretty much should kind of like start to fall back from needing a lot of stuff. This is why sometimes, like, I can have, you know and I learned this from the brother Gar said this, that I can have pretty much have a whole lot of sets, a whole lot of different outfits or whatnot like that. But he was like, on purpose, I you know I just wear like four different sets when I go to camp. Now again, as we saying anything wrong, you know, you could wear this, you could wear that. Right? I seen a polo coat that was I think it was something like, it was like 250. Right? Just being honest, it was like 250, but I had to get it. But then I was like, you know what? That joint is way too much. I know I can get something, probably get like two coats. Like, this, it wasn't a coat, it was more like a windbreaker. Like, I'm like, I probably get like two of them. I mean, it's the weather switching up. But then I seen it drop. I still didn't get it, but I seen it drop, and it's like half of what it is. Right. So it's just all about being conscious, right, of what we're doing, and not, you know, okay, I see this and I need it, right? And that's just the whole thing. You shouldn't be needing, right, anything, right? This is once you start to be in the truth, you should be. Uh, matter of fact, let me get that in James. James 1. What's it? One, it's in the NLT. Right, James 1, and you can start at 3.
God, it's the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 3 in the NLT. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing.
Meaning what?
Needing nothing.
Right. So, and that's supposed to be the difference between us and people that's in the world, right? They had a thought process like, oh, I need this, I gotta have this. Right. Once you're in this truth, you should start having a thought process like, hey, you know what? I really don't need that much, man. I mean, like the Heavenly Father, he be giving me everything that I really do need. Like, I got shoes on my feet. I mean, clothes on my back. I mean, a couple dollars in my pocket, some food in the refrigerator, right? The bills taken care of. Right? I don't, I mean, those are the with the family, like the little ones, cool, everything taken care of. I mean, life is good, like Future said, right? But he's saying it on the sense of having a whole lot, right? We shouldn't try to want to have a whole lot because then that keeps us in the mindset of even sometimes knowingly and not knowingly being comfortable in this society, right? Maybe the Lord don't want us to be that comfortable. It's something that we gotta think about. Let me get Philippians 4 and 11 in the NLT though.
God, give me 1 second. It's the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 11. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. Verse 12. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, or Slakia, a full stomach or empty with plenty or little.
Right. So this is what we gotta do. We gotta learn to live with a lot, Lord, and live with a little. Right. Read that last one, 13.
Verse 13. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength.
Right. We can do all things through Mashiach, man. Like he getting us through. He getting us through with whether we got a whole lot, whether we got a whole, or not a whole lot, or very little. Right.
God, I
I
got
mean,
precept.
just as long as we able to get through, huh?
God, I got precept too.
Hmm.
You remember that now? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 8. It says, First, help me to never tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs.
Man, that's all it needed. Just enough, man. Just give me enough to, I mean, just enough to make it through, enough that the lights ain't cut off, enough that I can cut the sink on and the water running, right? Just give me enough, right? Because sometimes you can have so much, and you get comfortable, right? And what I don't know what's located slipped my mind right now, but the Bible tells that this is not our rest though. So it's
Right.
kind,
You want me to bring it
kind,
up?
yeah, kind. Yeah, yeah. This shouldn't be a place where we like so comfortable at. And again, I'm just looking at myself because I think now this would be what maybe my seventh Passover, I believe. So just looking back at other Passover, I'm like, man, I gotta have this. I'm gonna need this. I gotta have that. I gotta get this. Like, and it's all. Listen, man, just that I can keep the holy day, right? my brothers, I mean, my family, then it's, I mean, that like life is great. Like it don't, it's not, it's like, again, life is not measured by how much a man has, right?
So I get to, if I can make a point. And I'm guilty of this, doing this in the past too. So like, I don't want brothers to think I was coming at them, but I had to reevaluate myself and how I thought about certain stuff. Like to up to a point, brothers like treat the holidays as if it's like our holidays. When I say holidays, I mean our holidays, like the new moons, the Passovers, the Purims and stuff like that. Treat it as if it's like a fashion show, or who could dress the best, or who got the flyest stuff when we pop out. Like to a point, and I'll use myself as an example. Like every Passover had to have a new attire on. Couldn't wear the same garment twice at a Passover. I couldn't be
Mhm.
caught dead wearing the same garment twice at a Passover. Had to make sure my chains was shining. And there's nothing wrong with looking presentable, but when it becomes the when the motives become, oh, I got to make sure I'm fly when I pop off, is again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like the whole lesson is to live within your means, right? There's nothing wrong with that if that's within your means to do. But more often than not, brothers go out of their means. Hey, if I budget this way, if I don't eat for 2 3 weeks, or if I don't go buy groceries too crazy, I could afford to get this garment for Passover and stunt. And what, for one day, and brothers not going. I guarantee you, them brothers not gonna remember what you wore at the last Passover, right? But we're treating it like it's this event that the theme of it is to look good and to look the most presentable. Salakia. But the theme of it is to, we treat these events like the theme of it is to get dressed up and look the best and do all of that. Where that's not the theme. The theme of it is to serve the Lord, right? So if you're going out of your way to go out of your means to do something where that's not even the theme of it, that it don't make too much sense to me. The Lord didn't ask, hey, when thou shalt keep the Passover, make sure you're the flyest one there. That's nowhere in the commandments when it tells you to keep the Passover, right? But again, as men, or yeah, as men, we like to make sure we're as fly as possible. And again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's within your means to do so. But when you go outside your means to do so, then you start, I mean, not looking the wisest, because it don't make sense for you to do all that, come out of pocket. Listen, when we used to travel out of state to keep events and to do stuff, already you're buying plane tickets, already you're booking B&B, already you're getting a rental, right? That's three major expenses that you have to worry about, that you have to budget for. So you have to plan these things ahead of time. And now you're adding, oh, I got to make sure the shoes that I'm wearing is on point. I got to make sure I got the proper shades on. I got to make sure my garment is on point, right? I got to make sure I pop out in the fly as well, right? So all these other things that, again, aren't requirements that you're adding onto yourself to live outside of your means when you have other responsibilities, right? Some brothers have families, some brothers have other responsibilities, other people that they take care of, but this is still a priority to them. So again, we gotta be wise as serpents. Be wise as serpents doesn't just mean when you're in a field with your adversary. Just, be wise as serpent in general, meaning how to move, how to maneuver, how to get out and get in places, how to be subtle. Sorry for that rant, but I'm gonna read that Micah too.
Yeah, and that's something that we talk about, I mean, and again, we can grind up brothers that's not in the truth, because obviously, I mean, we come from the world, so we had lived outside of our means in the world, and we know people that's in the world that live outside their means, and we understand that, but we're held to another standard, right? Or to, you say, a higher standard, right? Just being honest, because, right, we're walking in the way, right, that our forefathers walked, right? We're walking in the way of being a true Christian, right? So we should be held to a higher standard, and not just be like, oh well, um, I'm financially broke, because Esau on my back. No, you're financially broke because you as an adult make bad decisions financially, right? So that this what you gotta accept, right? Because this huh?
So nah, I ain't say nothing.
Kind of so because at the end of the day, we all have these jobs, and no matter if it's this amount or this or that amount, what we're getting. Listen, none of us is getting so-called NBA, right? LeBron, Tiger Woods. We're not getting Jay-Z, them type of money. So pretty much anything that we get is pretty much kind of like pennies, and really they are. But we're not going to really touch that. But on a grand scale of things, but at the end of the day, what we really getting is pennies. So it's like you need to know what to do with your pennies. Matter of fact, let me get that. The putting and Rebecca putting the money into a bag with holes.
Uh, that one is sick. That two is sick. Let me look that up real quick.
It's 1/6.
One is six. I was just
Haggard. My fault. I said Rebecca. Salaki.
Haggai.
Yeah,
Okay.
Salaki.
That's the book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
With holes. Matter of fact, read that again. Like let's break every part down, man. That's it's kind of crazy now. I'm listening to it.
Yeah, the whole verse. Verse
Yeah.
6. Ye have sown much and bring in
Mhm.
little.
You work very hard, black man, Hispanic man, but you bring in very little. We know this, right? You know this already. So you can't use the white man. Hey man, listen, man, I'm broke all the time because the white man on my back, man, holding me down, man. We know we under the curses, man. We know this. We know that we're going to work very hard and bring in very little. But what are you doing with them little bit of chips that you bring in? Come on.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Right? You eat, but you still not enough, man. I need another plate, man. Man, you know what? This food is good and is lawful, but you know what? I need the best of the best, right? I need the top of the top, right? And we gonna go into that too because Christ talked about that, right? You don't like you just all you need is clothes. You don't really need the best of the best of clothes, right? Come on.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
Man, this drink is good, but I need the crispiest drink, right? I need the top of the line, man. And listen, this is all good, right? Thinking about it because you're putting this stuff in your body, right? More than just the material stuff that you're putting on your body, right? But like honestly, like if it's lawful, right? You can drink it, right? The drink, right? And of course, try to stick away from obviously the corn syrup, the soda. We know, man. We understand this, but our people have a mindset because we didn't have so much, right? Like for instance, I was raised a lot on just eating jelly and bread, peanut butter sandwiches, right? And, me and my siblings imagine it was different burger sandwiches and stuff like that. So now you get a couple of dollars. Now all of a sudden, man, I'm not gonna eat jelly and bread no more. Now you too good for it, man. I gotta eat this burger. It gotta be the top sandwich, right? Come on.
Uh, Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Right, you got clothes on, but you like, man, this ain't enough, man. Right? I need something better. Like speaking about myself, right? Like I could get regular shades, right? But I'm looking at my bank account, looking at like I got a couple of dollars. You know what? I'm just get two Gucci Jones. right? And I did. I had the money actually saved up to get it, but what happened? Just like how the brother was saying, we do these out of town trips sometimes. I'm on the airplane. I put it in a case, and I put it in the pocket that's in front of you, and I accidentally obviously left it on the plane. So oops, now somebody else got their glasses,
for
right?
free.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, but I could have just got regular glasses, like I did, $20. Yeah, I mean, and they are right glasses. But then if I would have lost it, it's like I wouldn't have lost much. I mean, and now, like I said, I got like 4 or 5 pair of glasses, and it costs us even still less than just one of them pairs that I had. I mean, it just you have to think about it. It just doesn't make sense, right? But then again, we want to say, oh, but the white man on my back. No, you're setting yourself back because you have an understanding, and you're setting yourself back to try to still get hey man, I work hard for this money. So I might as well, I mean, like what? So that means that you might as well just be in debt. Like you work so hard for the money to at least establish and have everything paid and have everything, squared off, so to say. Hey, but yeah, you can finish it up.
God. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Right. We understand this, right? And listen, and God put this like he put this in the Bible, man. This is there. So it's like, what you what are we gonna do, man? What are we gonna do? You're getting wages just so you can take it and put it into a bag with holes. Why is it a bag with holes? Because as soon as you put coins into a bag, it's just falling out because of the holes. Right? We
To
fall
never
right
stay
into
there.
the trap.
Yeah, that money never stay there. You get paid Friday, by Sunday, you looking for the next check. By Sunday morning, you're like, damn, I wish, listen, if you get paid every 2 weeks, that's hell. I get paid every 2 weeks. Listen, I got paid Thursday, last Thursday. So this week I'm not getting paid. Next week I'm gonna get paid. You got to make it stretch to next week, right? And even worse for brothers and sisters that work 2 jobs. So that's why, and everything is. That's why everything is in moderation. That's why. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. Um, when Paul said, "Not all things are expedient." First Corinthians. Salakia, y'all gonna hear some noise, man. My niece don't want
Right.
me.
Okay.
Right. So this is First Corinthians 10:23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. Right. All things are lawful to me, but not all things edify. So the meaning of that, yeah, I can go out right now, right, and buy a Gucci sunglasses like the brother said, but is that expedient for me to do? No, because now I have to pull from other places just to cover that hole that I just dug myself into, right? So again, all things are done in moderation. Could I go out and do this right now? Yeah, I have the money to. But is it wise for me to do that? No, right? You got to do things in moderation. You got to again live within your means, and that takes being honest with yourself. I'm not a rapper. I'm not gonna live like a rapper. I'm not a basketball player. I'm not gonna live like a basketball player. I don't want to. That's the thing with our people. We want to project to be more than we are because we're really not comfortable with what we actually are, right? There's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. If that's what you do, live within your means. You don't gotta show that you're just this baller dude on the internet and just, hey man, look at the chain I just got. Nah, man, look at the will I just got. Not knowing that you paying car notes, you about to be paying car notes for the next 35 years just to be able to get this car when you could have went and got a used one for cheaper and used the other money for something else. But because you want to project yourself to be something you're not, and you go in and do that. It's not expedient, right? So again, be comfortable with who you are. You don't gotta who are you trying to impress? That's the thing right now. That because for you to live outside of your means, you're looking for validation from somebody because you're not comfortable with your means being what they are. So you're projecting. So who are you impressing, right? Who are you trying to impress so much so that you are willing to live outside of your means and incur debt and incur all these other stuff just to impress people that, quite honestly, wouldn't give a damn about all the stuff that you got? They don't, right? Most of the people that you're trying to start on the gram, you're never gonna meet. You're never gonna meet. They're gonna see your story and they're gonna scroll past. Meanwhile, all it took for you to post that story, you sacrificed, and it's gonna take a while for you to get up there. But they're just gonna see that post, scroll through. But you done messed up your life just for that low post, just for that 30 seconds, just for that 3 second clip that they're gonna see. It don't make sense because you're not living within your means.
And it's you would think having the wisdom, right, would stir us steer us in the right direction to live within our means and have that desire to be, you know what, I don't need that much, right? And just be comfortable about being satisfied. Uh um it's an old commercial that kind of helped me um think about this putting this type of video together that I seen. It was in black and white, and it was a brother in his rib in the store, buying things, and it's a white man talking. Like, he's basically saying, um like, how you can get the black man to buy anything, you know. Just take a hat, a regular hat, call it uh, a fancy type of name, right? And then even raise the price on it. And and if he has some level of status in life or some level of revenue, right, he'll look at him and be like, oh, okay, I buy it. I mean, even though he know that buying it may actually set him back, even though he know buying it may actually, put him in debt, or it's barely all that he has, right? But he will do it just to still say, like, you couldn't deny me, right? Like, yeah, I mean, and that's that mindset that Esau know. He knows about us, right? And this is why, like, when you even look at some of the clothes and stuff that they put out and stuff like that, it's almost the same type of clothes, right, as the so-called bargain brands. But due to the fact that it's the label on it, now all of a sudden they can double and triple the price on it. And again, it boils down to, because we're not satisfied, right? We need to be satisfied, right? Those who are, not in the walk, right? You need to be satisfied with what the Lord gave you, and especially those that are in the walk, right? We need to be satisfied. I got a couple verses on that. Let me get that one in Psalms 107 and 9.
107 and 9.
Uh,
In the KJV or NLT?
the KJV.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 9. For he satisfied the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness.
And he satisfied the longing soul, right? We should long to, get the hell out of America. We should long to get the hell off these plantations. Right? It's just being on these plantations, honestly, is a means to an end. Right? It's just a means to an end, right? We're there so, we can feed our family, right? Take care of ourselves, pay these little bills, right? Keep it moving, right? It's just the more, kind of like, the more stuff that we have, honestly, it's kind of like the more comfortable we'll be in this society, because in reality, right, the Lord is going to end up setting up, or, it be His will to set up a situation where we're going to have to walk away from everything. You know what I mean? Because listen, you can't take the stuff with you anyway. So it's like, I mean, like you're going to end up having to walk away from it anyway. So, right. So we have to end up being satisfied with what we have, right?
You got Matthew 19?
Matt, no,
If I could bring that out real quick.
uh,
Uh, just when you were saying that, just this precept popped into my mind, right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19, and verse 24. And this is Christ speaking. And again, I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now, why do y'all think he said that? Right? Why do y'all think he said that? It's easier for a camel to literally pass through the eye of a needle. Now, imagine that, for example. There's no way a camel can pass through the eye of a needle, but that is easier to do than a rich man getting into the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because a rich man has all these worldly attachments that he's not going to be able to let go of, right? And this is what our people chase. Oh, I want this car. I want this house. I want, again, all these worldly attachments that our people want, right? And I get it, it's because we've been in a downtrodden state so much. We think that that is what equates to status, right? If I could get this, then that means I made it. I'm no longer in the hood. I want to get my mom out the projects. I want to buy her a house with a nice backyard and all these things. And that's all well intentioned, right? It is. I don't blame a brother or sister for wanting to do that for their family. But once you get attached to that, you won't be able to give that up. That's why Solomon, when we read in Proverbs 30, said, don't make me rich or poor. Just give me enough so I could get by. Right? I don't want to get to that point where I get so attached to all these riches, right? Because now it's like, damn, I don't want to give up. Now the king, now America's falling, but my backyard's so nice. The life that I got here, I'm making $25 an hour. I'm
yeah,
making $100 a day. You add that up, I'm making at least a couple thousand a month. I don't want to give that up, right? Because you attach to it now because you got it. So I don't want that. Just give me enough to get by.
hey, man, I got all my shoes, man. I can't leave this behind, man. Like, let me throw this in the black bag, and and then beam me up on, on one of them ships, man. Like, I'm gonna need to take these with me, man. These designer jeans, man. You crazy? Like, I'm just supposed to let these Jones burn. Uh, let me get Matthew 6 and NLT. We gonna start at 25, right? Matthew 20. Matter of fact, start at 24, right? 24.
You
And
said
NLT.
you said Matthew 6:24.
And the NLT.
God. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 24. No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money.
You cannot serve God and money, right? Or money desires, right? It's so much that can fall in that that you can replace money with, right? But it all still boils down to worldly thought process, right? What's that? 1 John 2:15. If you love the world, then love of the Father is not in you, right? Come on.
God, verse 25. And that is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or not, or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing?
Hey, I don't got enough food, man. I mean, I need more. Hold up, I don't got enough clothes, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I mean, hey, I'm about to set up another garage and start getting more. Right? Come on.
Verse 26. Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. Aren't you far more valuable to him than they are?
Right? We know we are Sharala. We are the light of the world, right? Right? That the Messiah said that we are the salt of the earth. So we know that we're special. So we like and like we and again going back to the name brand things, right? You should look at it more so like you can just wear pretty much whatever, right? You should make the thing special, right? Because you yourself is special, right? So whatever you put on, whether or not if it's especially if it's some Edomite do brand, right? I mean, and again, you know, we understand that it's not unlawful to have a Ralph Lauren. I got a couple of them shirts or whatever. Like we understand. And then we're under their captivity. So just because you don't get a high-name Edomite label, you still get a lower Edomite label. But the point is that since you're special, you should be able to make whatever you wear or have special by default, right? It shouldn't take the item to make you special. You should make that item special, right? Come on.
But brothers don't think they're special, so they gotta go to the name brands to feel special.
Mhm.
Verse, verse 27. Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And why worry about your clothing? Look at the lilies of the field and how they grow. They don't work or make their clothing. Yet Solomon, in all his glory, was not dressed as beautifully as they are. And if God cares so wonderfully for wild flowers that are here today and thrown into the fire tomorrow, he will certainly care for you. Why do you have so little faith? Verse 31. So don't worry about these things, saying, what will we eat? What will we drink? What will we wear?
Right,
The-
right. We know you gotta eat. We know you gotta, wear stuff.
These things dominate the thoughts of unbelievers, but your heavenly Father already knows all your needs.
Right. We understand that this type of mindset it dominates those who are in the world. Right. So again, this what we kind of open up with that those especially in the truth. We understand that those that's in the world, right, that they gonna blow their money, that they gonna mess up stuff. But us being in the truth, we need to have more stability with things, right? We can't just keep using the excuse like, yeah, Esau on my back, like he keeping me down, he messing up things for me. No, you're messing up things for yourself, right? And a lot of times when you start to um, you know, actually kind of like place the blame on yourself, right? You kind of can move forward. We understand that the Lord put Esau over us, right, for a punishment for a disobedience to Him. So we understand that, right? There's no getting around that point. Right? I'm not trying to excuse, you know, Esau from his abominable ways. We're not trying to excuse him, but at the end of the day, right, the Lord still has you have physical health, able to work, able to receive revenue. But it's like, what are you doing with it, right? What moves are you making with it, right? You should be able to. It's no way that if you're getting right, and just being honest, like, and this is where I started to look at certain numbers, right? It's no way that you should be getting. Let's just say roughly 2500 a month after taxes. There's no way that you should have a living expense expensive a living habit of with the bills and just daily life eating. You're gonna have a little bit of fun with your money, like nobody's saying that you can't. um there's no way that you should be spending over two bands. You only net 25. So why are you spending that much over, right? You have nothing saved, you have nothing hold, right? What happens if let's just say, Heavenly Father forbid, you twist an ankle, right? And then now you can't work for a little bit. Now you should have some level of revenue to fall back on, at least for a dispensation of time, right? Again, we can't. A lot of times we see people they use the Esau on my back. I can't I'm held down, right? But a lot of times you're the one holding yourself back and
God,
from being all that you're supposed to be.
God, brother, let's be frank, brother. Esau is not holding you back if all you're doing is eating out every other week or every week. Eating out every week, you're not saving any money, right? You're buying the latest shoes that come out, the newest game that come out. right? You just had to have this flat screen TV. Esau ain't doing nothing to you when you're doing these things. You're making a cognitive choice to do these things. And then listen, I'm all for blaming Esau, right? But let's put things in their proper context, right? Well, let's assign blame properly to who deserves blame, right? Yes, Esau destroyed our people, right? But shout out to the elder Mapatai. He always said, how can somebody who don't treat you right teach you right? We already established that they don't treat us right, right? So why would they teach us financial literacy and stuff like that, right? So it falls on you now. Hey man, if I'm making $2,500, right, I gotta make sure my rent falls into that. I gotta have rainy day savings. So I gotta make sure, um, roughly estimating it, right? I'm making $2,500. My rent should be, I shouldn't be looking for a 4 bedroom apartment to live in, and my rent is 25, and my net is 2,500, right? Let me find out if I could get a studio that's like 800 or 700, right? At maximum 900. Then I have all these things like groceries, right? Utilities, right? Transportation, all these things, right? But you're making $2,500 and you want to live in a 4 bedroom apartment with a backyard and all these things, and then you're saying, oh nah, Esau's holding me down. No, brother, you gotta reevaluate your life, right? You're living again outside of your means. I get these things are nice to have, but you gotta be real. How much is it costing you to appear nice versus to actually live comfortably within your means? Right? Brothers want to live a hard life that looks good versus to actually live a good life, right? Because that's what it is. I want to appear to have these things, and then I'm actually in a hole versus I want to live below my means and be comfortable where I'm at and not care about appearances. But because you do, you want to do all these things, which again aren't needed. It really is not. Right? And like the brother in the beginning, he said it. We're approaching Passover, right? So all these extra stuff, because when I look at like scripture talks about circumcising your heart, right? Especially in the Passover, we're to trim the extra fat off, right? Get the leavening out of our heart. All these things fattens our heart, right? Where you're given an access that's extra fat, right? You're given an access. So in the circumcision of our hearts, we're supposed to cut off all these things that we don't need and focus only on the meat and potatoes, to say, right? Meaning the stuff that's actually matters, the stuff that's actually important, right? Which is these laws, statutes, commandments, having enough to get by and serving the Lord. That's it. I don't need 5 bedroom apartment. I don't need the newest car. I don't need none of these things, right? Just give me enough that I can get by where I don't curse you or lose sight of you. That's it.
Kind of, yeah, matter of fact, let's end with the 33, and this is this the Messiah told us what to put for number one for us, right?
God, see. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33 in the NLT. Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need.
Any and everything we need, man. The Heavenly Father is going to provide for us, right? So we got to be comfortable with what we have, not with what we should have, not with what this person have, what God gave this person should be me. No, let's be comfortable with what God has for us, right? And anything that we do need that we don't have currently, right? Let's pray that the Heavenly Father provides us for it, you know. But guess what? He's getting you by right now with what you do have. So that's something to look at right there. So, I mean, all praise to the Heavenly Father, man. Bro, you got any?
God, I'm going to just go up to Matthew 6 and verse 19 really quick. It says, don't store up treasures here on earth where moth eats them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there is the desire of your heart will also be, right? So again, we do these things, and like the brother went into earlier, right? let's say for example, them sunglasses were the brother treasured them, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm the dude now because I got these things, right? Again, that was really easily be able to lost, right? Being easily taken away. So don't put your heart towards the earthly desires or the earthly things that you have, because once it get taken away from you, you get discouraged. Damn, I lost my treasure. Is that even worth it anymore? Like, I lost my Gucci glasses. Should I even be keeping the Passover anymore? If you're that invested into your carnal things, where losing them gets you like out of the element of keeping what you're intending to travel for, and we're just using this as an example, but there is brothers that operate like that or sisters that operate like that. Man, I don't even got a car. I'm not even gonna go, man. All right. If these carnal things are able to keep you away from the spiritual things, like that is a serious problem. Right. You have to put your treasures on the heavenly things that can't be stolen or taken away, right? Like that kingdom of heaven can't be taken away from you. If you put your mind towards that, who can I can't steal it away from you. This brother can't steal it away from you. If you put your mind on a kingdom, nobody can steal that mindset away from you. Right? You can lose your whole house, right? Your house can burn down in a fire. But because you have your mind on the heavenly things, all right, cool. All praise to the Lord. Like, for example, Job, he lost his kids, his cattle, his everything. But because his mind was towards serving the Lord, that didn't break him. His wife just literally told him, curse God and die, right? If his mind was on carnal things, he could have been like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. God did take away my kids. He did take away my cattle. He did take away my riches. What's the point of even serving God anymore if I don't have these carnal things, right? He could have done that. But again, because his mind was on spiritual things, he set his mind on the heavenly riches. Nothing can break him, right? But again, that that's the dangers of living beyond your means. When you live beyond your means, you start being reliant on the things that, because you're not doing it for yourself, right? Because you're suffering. Unless your mind is so twisted because you think in some way you are doing it for yourself, which you have bigger problems to worry about. But living beyond your means is usually to flex on other people and show them that, hey, look what I got, type of statement, right? That's usually what it is. 90% of the time, that's usually what it is. Because you're not comfortable with yourself, you got to show other people hey, look what I got, right? And more often than not, it leads to you. Listen, it's like that story of Icarus. You fly too close to the sun, your wings got burned, and then you get clipped. You live way beyond your mean, and then listen, the Most High God start chipping at you. Now you don't got nothing to fall back on, right? I got this chain, but I ain't pay rent. Where am I gonna stay? Right? My car looked the nicest, but I ain't paying rent. Where I could drive places, but I don't got no place to drive back to, because again, you're living beyond your means. So there's no shame in working a 9 to 5 and living as a guy that works a 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5.
Right, right.
Listen, I'll be the first to tell you I work a 9 to 5. I'm cool with that, right? It gets the bill paid. It gets me, because that's what the brother was talking about earlier with the works of the Lord, right? When you're tried, let patience have its perfect works, and patience is completed, is perfect, wanting nothing. The place where we're at right now, we don't need anything really. I can't point to a single thing, cardinal thing I need in my life right now. I can't. I have the Lord. I have a roof over my head. I have things to eat, right? It may not be A1 steak or it may not be Roof Chris, but I'm full. I have what I need. So I'm not going to do any of that. But again, that comes from the Lord. So don't live beyond your means, and don't be ashamed of what you like live as, because shame is what makes you want to flex on people, because hey, I don't really got it, but I don't want people to think that, so I'm gonna do this. And no, I work a 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with that, right? Who am I trying to impress? That's just me, bro. That's just how I look at it. I may not be the wisest. I'm definitely one of the youngest in the camp, right? But that's just little me and
Yeah,
what I picked
yeah,
up around.
yeah, yeah. But bro, a lot of it come a lot of time, Yeah, man. And this is just looking at brothers that's in the world, and again, even brothers that's in this walk, you know. Like a lot of times, and it happens sometimes when you don't even really notice it, right? And this is something that I peeped in myself. So it happens sometimes where you don't even notice it, but it's it's just because we grow up not having too much, or um, like me, I came from a big house, so you got share and yeah, I mean, stuff get passed down to you, and
Now,
I mean, you don't even got your own room. You got this, you got to share this, or share that. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just you want to kind of lavish yourself, I guess, in a way. And
it's just
huh?
real quick, right? Just how your mom put a beautiful quote in that joint. I take care of my whole family with a 9 to 5, and that's a man of the Lord right
Oh,
there.
praises.
That's a man of the Lord right there, man. Like what we live in an era now where if you're not a rapper, you don't got all these chains, you're not cool. Hey man, this is why we got all these people dying nowadays, right? Because people live outside of their means and they portray a lifestyle that they don't live, and people see on Instagram, hey man, he got it. Let me go rob him. Let me go. Yeah, I'm gonna go take from him. When you really don't got it like that, a lot of us wouldn't get in the situations we're living in if we just live within our means. But Salaki for interrupting.
No, it's just yeah, it's just really just I mean, oh, I didn't have, now I have a little, so I'm like, as far as a couple of dollars, because obviously you can't make nothing happen when you're younger, right? You're a kid, so now like you're adult, and you know I'm finna have the best of the best. I ain't gonna never step back, right? But a lot of times, what we don't really realize is that a lot of times not having, you know, that stuff, it actually gives us character
Yeah.
because it toughens us up and a lot of times in situations. So it makes us not just from a physical standpoint tougher, but more so mentally, because it's like, you think, oh, if worst come to worst, I already know, like, well, Paul said it, I already know how to do without because I did it before.
John, I got a
I
precept for you.
mean, yeah, it toughens up your mind. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that you should try to do, try to live outside of your means, because in reality, the only person that really hurts is you. Like when
Mm-hmm.
you really check it out, it really mainly hurts you.
John. Um, this is Ecclesiastes, and when I read this in the first time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't fully understand this until a brother said something. He didn't even know that it unlocked that understanding for me, right? But this is Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of the mourning, and the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Like the brother said, it builds character, right? You going without, you like the brother Hayman said in the chat, hard time definitely humble you, right? And the Lord is with the humble. But it definitely gives you wisdom when you go without sometimes, right? When you're chastised, when you go through tough times, right? When you're sat down, that's when like, damn, okay. It gets you reflective, right? Because that's why the the wise, the people who truly have understanding, they're never really like they're never really like not saying that they can't be, but more oftentimes that's an image they portray out there, but they're never truly happy go lucky, meaning they don't really think about stuff. They've been through stuff, they internalized it, right? And they're mourning because damn, the stuff that I have to go through to get that wisdom, like damn, truly damn. And that's why the wise are always in a house of mourning, because the struggle, the affliction, the lack, the going without that they had to go through to get that wisdom, you don't know, right? You don't know. So living, being content within your soul, that takes a sense of like struggle in and of itself to get to that point. Like the brother said, you grew up in a family not having none, right? Like I myself, I can tell you, it's been nice where they have electricity, right? It's been nice where the you had to light a candle to see, right? It's been nice like that, and that give you a different perspective, that it really sits you down and have you thinking about life in a different way and what actually matters when you go through stuff like that, right? When you have an easy life, you don't really find out the stuff that matter. You got an easy life. You think everything is good. Everything is nah. But that's like the brother said. That's what builds character, right? I struggled. I learned some stuff. It built wisdom in me, right? That's all.
And to just give a final point, it's like, and again, especially just not to keep harping on it, but especially us, being in the truth and being, ambassadors of Yahawashi Mashiach, right? Walking in his footsteps. We shouldn't be like our counterparts, you know, our Black, Hispanic counterparts that are in the world, right? They're going to live outside of their means, right? We know that, right? We're supposed to be examples for them, right? But then they see us and they're like, dang. Oh, and again, I just want to make this clear. I'm not saying that can't be fly, can't be you know, have this. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that when we do it so much to the point that it's the be all end all, right? It's the be all end all. So we gotta just keep in mind, right? Yahushua, it was said about him, um, right? The Son of Man didn't have a place to lay his head. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't worried about fly sandals or a belt buckle. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, huh?
Nah, that was just funny. Yeah, how shiny had the fly sandals of the belt.
And no, I'm pretty sure people had better sandals and everything than him. Like, so but it's just something that they keep in mind though. Like, because at the end of the day, we got to always continuously evaluate ourselves, right? You know what I mean, and make sure that we keep refining and keep polishing ourselves in these last and evil days with, the wars breaking out. You got different things going on. You know what I mean, civil unrest. Yeah, I mean, Lord will is starting to pop off. You're seeing it more and more with ICE going down, even in our city, even coming into these corner stores.
Yeah.
I seen the situation on Broad Street, but you know what I mean. So in these last days, worrying about um, uh, a fashion or just trying to keep up with the Joneses should be the last thing on a practicing Israelite mind, right? Especially you males, right?
Mm,
With uh,
we say that, right? We say that, and I just want to say this: like, if if you don't start practicing living within your means now, the Lord is bringing something that's gonna force you, and by then you ain't gonna
it
have no
may be
practice.
too, and man, it may be too late. That's it. That's why we need to take the time now to the practice on getting right because we see the situation is turning up so much to the point to where if you're not pretty much at that point of well I'm gonna get it right at the last minute. Well, eh,
The Lord don't work on CPT, man. You either there, you can't. It's like in school you used to the teacher would give you homework. You won't do it at home, but the next day you come to class. It's 8:25 or it's 8:25. You try and rush and do the homework and turn into the teacher before 8:30. Can't do that with the Lord. You gotta do your homework. Take your time to do your homework at the crib and bring it in. Can't rush and finish it last minute and think, nah, it don't work like that with the Lord. Just take
eh,
your time now.
yeah, just keep in mind, y'all. Though this Passover season, man. Look, man, the gar- that garment don't got cost a nickel, right? It don't. It don't got you don't got to get a whole rack for it, right? Just like the brother said. Listen, it's mainly about just keeping the laws, right? It's mainly about you uh, getting any type of issue out that you have with your brothers, right? We in this time that we shouldn't try to have especially labor together. It's with people that you can labor with. Don't try to have no issues with them. Honestly, you shouldn't really try to have no issues with any of your brothers sometimes. But I
Yeah,
understand about loving from a distance. Right, right. And I'm learning about that more and more. Well, this especially not to even speak on that, but some people that's in the world, but you know, even more so with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm learning to love from a distance. Sometimes it's better and easier that way.
yeah.
Yeah. But but yeah, though, we I mean, if it was anything wrong that we said, it definitely had to have been the flesh. It wasn't the spirit. Right. Hopefully, brothers and sisters was edified. Till the next time we say Shalom and Mawaf Laba Ball.
No, I'll follow ball.